show tonight. Tonight's guest, the greatest relief pitcher in baseball history. Mariano Rivera is going to be joining us on the program later on tonight. I'm very excited about that. But I said the but really loud, didn't I? I apologize for that. Scared some people. We got to get right to the news because late last week, it all went down.
The White House on the defense over a new smoking gun Benghazi email.
Some are calling a smoking gun.
The smoking gun.
Smoking gun! It's one of the worst kinds of guns. A gun that smokes, it's a terrible influence. All the other guns that you're just having a good time, they're not smoking, they're not drinking, and then that gun walks in and it's come on, all the cool guns are doing it. Now, we went into Iraq because we didn't want the smoking gun to be in the form of a mushroom cloud. What was this gun smoking?
The conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch obtained internal White House emails that it claims reveal more about the effort to get then UN Ambassador Susan Rice to assert on the Sunday morning talk shows that the attack on the U.S. consulate was a result of a demonstration over an internet video and not a failure of administration policy.
Huh. Man, that is different. The White House had said they had very little to do with changing the talking points. Well, now it looks like this Ben Rhodes, a White House National Security and Communications aide, did add to these talking points, emphasizing that the protests surrounding the Benghazi violence were not coordinated by terrorists, but were instead somehow related to a provocative anti-Muslim video that had caused demonstrations in other countries. By the way, that video, Snow Dogs. It really is a terrible, terrible video. Well, I will say this. From that email, it sounds like the White House, well done, the White House had politics and elections on their mind when they sent Susan Rice to the Sunday shows. It's deplorable. I'm not sure what it means in terms of fixing the initial problems of inadequate communication and protection that caused the tragedy, but okay. Good find. Moving on. All right, let's go.
Where is the outrage over those 4 dead Americans?
Wait, what now?
We now know that the White House had a conspiracy where essentially what they were trying to do was change the story.
Will the mainstream media even pay attention?
The mainstream media is giving President Obama a pass on Benghazi.
Where was that outrage? The president and the White House created a political agenda.
Where's the media outrage?
They knew it was a terrorist attack from the get-go.
Nobody seems to care.
Fox News is the only one who has stayed on this story, who has not let go of it.
Where's the outrage there?
Okay, I think I see the problem. You think people's failure to match your level of outrage is based on ignorance? That after nearly 100 network news stories, hundreds of cable news stories about Benghazi, 13 congressional hearings, 50 further congressional briefings, and 25,000 pages of official findings concerning what happened in Benghazi, that if we all only knew about it, we would care. You know, there are very few things we've heard more about in the past year and a half. The only thing we've heard more about in the past year and a half, maybe the Kardashians, and there is no dispute that this situation was spawned by the release of a video. I don't think there's any question about that. I think I see the problem. Here's your problem. You're asking people to get outraged about an intelligence failure that tragically led to some Americans losing their lives. One intelligence failure. And then, I mean, imagine the outrage if there'd been a second intelligence failure right after that one. That tragically led to even more Americans losing their lives. But you're not concerned about that. You're just concerned about this one intelligence failure. And you're upset that an administration, in its haste to get reelected, pulled some dodgy, face-saving. That's what you're afraid of. Well, I commend you for finally getting in touch with your inner outrage, because if I remember correctly, in the previous decade, it was an emotion you did not seem comfortable addressing or expressing. Like, for instance, when former Bush Homeland Security Secretary Tom Ridge said he was pressured by Ashcroft and Rumsfeld to raise the nation's terror threat level before the 2004 election to help President Bush's election chances. What'd you say about that?
Well, Tom Ridge is a good and decent man entitled to his impressions, but they're just that. And there are some facts that stand between Tom Ridge and a smoking gun.
If former Homeland Security Chief Tom Ridge was hoping to generate buzz about his upcoming book, mission accomplished.
Oh! Zing! That's not outrage, that's snark. Snark's not outrage, silly.